Hello, I wanted to explain the Mordekaiser versus Aatrox matchup. I play a lot of Aatrox. I don't really play Mordekaiser, right? And the funny thing is, I thought this is a normal game the whole time. And then at the end of the game, I noticed this is ranked, then you won like 16 LT, right? And I went for a really aggressive setup, you know. Ghost, Ignite, really good. Doran Singh, of course, no Doran Shield, but you can go Doran Shield if you're really bad in the matchup, it's up to your preference. Now this Aatrox went for D Shield. Could bang go longs for 3 pots, but if he prefers D shield, never go for it. And if the game starts, I'm just simply like guarding, you know, not much is going on. I mean, oops, wrong team. Just like that, right? There's not much going on. Basically, I throwed out a Q so I can practice my close clicking Qs instead of long clicking Qs, right? So in here I'm practicing using my Q from a close clicking range instead of a long one. It's usually better for your spacing. Okay. But I think the game I rarely close clicked with my Q, I think. Okay. And now, it's not much happening, of course. Level 1 starts out, right? And in here I want to avoid as many Qs as possible from Aatrox, right? You can sidestep them, of course. But in here I'm just looking to snipe these 3 minions with my Q. I'm not looking to force because he's gonna outshort trade me with his Qs and with his passive. It's kinda hard to trigger your own passive level 1 because you don't have your E, so you don't have to force anything, right? Definitely we don't have to force anything level 1. I'm just picking up these 3 minions with my and getting some chip damage on Aatrox. Look. In here my bomb plating is proc. I outspaced the Q, the third Q as well, but I couldn't pick up the minion, right? Now I'm zoning him, so watch out, the minion is getting low. But you don't want Aatrox to last hit for free, right? So if he wants to get the minion, he needs to be poked with a Q, right? You should punish it, right? You should definitely punish it. He either loses the minion, or he gets punished for getting it, but you shouldn't like cluelessly look at him and allow him to get lots of free stuff, right? Okay. And in here he got level 2, right? His level 2 is definitely and I managed to outspace again another Q. And now I'm using my Q to pick up a minion, right? Because I won't use my Q against him until I don't get at least level 2, and my Q will come up shortly, so it's not a big deal that it's on cooldown. It's a short cooldown ability, of course, so it's not really a big deal. And also another important thing to understand, that I'm not playing weak side right now. I'm strong sided by Udyr because the enemy feels like the Aatrox had to leash, I do believe, and he's, we can see it visually, he's patting downwards. So in the position I am in, I'm not really too scared of Fiddlesticks, of course. And now we can see that Aatrox, right? So let's go a tiny bit back, right? Okay. So. Okay, and in here he gets level 2, he engages with his EQ, right? He Qs and he EQs, right? And now you should always reactively use your E and then use your Q as well at the same time when he does it, because he's locked in a animation, which means you can 100% hit your EQ, right? But I didn't Q in time, so you can always. Oh, actually I did. Okay, but I could auto, which is really good, and I ghosted. Watch out, I ghosted. I had ignite as well, right? So I went for a really all-in heavy setup, right? And now he's out of fuel. He used his Q, passive, E, everything, right? And now my passive is proccing. I'm stacking up Conqueror, right? So I have 16 auto attack damage per hit, plus the ones that I will get from Conqueror, so it will ramp up a little bit, same as my passive's damage gonna ramp up a bit, and I'm gonna get some movement speed, right? I also have an ignite. And in general I should run him down then at this point, of course, and my Q is of course coming up way faster than his Q, so I can go for this all-in. So he chooses to flash because I would take too much of his HP down, so that's fine. He flashes, I don't get to kill him, but we get his flash for a Ghost, that's totally fine, because Ghost has always shorter cooldown, which in general means he's more gankable. The only problem is I didn't pinged it, so my Udyr doesn't know he does not have it, so that's definitely you should do it. I didn't do it this game, but you definitely should do it. You can always be thinner, look better, right? And here I get zoned away from the cannon. The reason for that is he got level 3, I didn't pay attention at minions, I should then push a little bit until I get level 3 as well, so he doesn't zones me off the cannon. I should then push a little bit, right, to get my level 3 before he does, so I get the cannon, but I messed it up. I messed it up in here actually. Now I get zoned away from the cannon, but I get the XP, so that's fine. So it can happen, right? But now we know he has no flash, and I should have pinged it. Like, Udyr is here and he's this deep. Probably I should ban ping his flash, right? That was a mistake from my part. Udyr could ban even skip Krugs and gank into me. Because he didn't ward and now he's warding, right? So that's actually on you if you don't like ping it. Because junglers can't all the time look top lane, bot lane, mid lane and all that, right? Just to make their job ultra. And in here we catch him. He has no flash. He gets stunned by Udyr, right? Then he gets pulled by my EQ. And I ignite him as well, of course. So he doesn't get to like E through the wall, right? If I didn't pull him, he wouldn't get to E through the wall, right? So the pull was really great from my part, right? And in here, since I don't have TP, there is no reason for me to shove and try to recall, right? And Udyr is also hovering, and Fiddlesticks is bot side, right? So that means that if I hold this freeze, it's really hard for Aatrox to step up, right? Aatrox A. And Udyr is here, right? Udyr is still here in the proximity, which means he could get collapsed on again. Now the good thing is, my Ghost is coming up in 152, my Ignite is coming earlier on than his own flash. So that means I will have both of them before he gets to have his own flash up, right? That's definitely great. Now in here I'm trying to trim the wave a tiny bit. Probably I should trim it way more than I did. Yeah, I should trim this way more. I was too slow on trimming actually, yeah. So I could then hold this freeze for longer, but when the Aatrox steps up, he would probably just unfreeze it. So in here Aatrox is scared to step up, most likely he's in a bush. I could then ward it, of course, because that's the only way Fiddlesticks also ganks me, right? It's impossible from him to gank in here or in here because it's warded. So I should then ward this against Aatrox or Fiddlesticks, right? It's actually a mistake on my part. Now I'm trimming the wave, he's bot side actually, okay. Okay. And now I'm healing a bit, I'm pulling down the wave, but I trimmed it a bit too hard, right? I messed up a tiny bit my freeze, yep, I did. And in here he's coming and picking up 2 waves. In here I'm pulling and he also Qs. So that was a mistake from my part because I'm taking more damage than I'm ever giving up out, so it's just not really good. But at least I dodged his third Q, which is really great. And now in front of my eyes he used his Q, 10 seconds cooldown, of course, right? He doesn't have his Q up, right? He only has W. And the only way he lasts this cannon without him getting all in or poked is with his W, right? So I was face tanking the cannon so he doesn't get stat resource, right? He hasn't got his Q yet. So if he had his Q, don't face tank it, you're gonna be all in really badly, don't do it. But now, he doesn't have his Q. So in general, that means that it's really hard for him to last hit it because he's gonna get punished. So he tries to last hit it with his W, but I'm face tanking it, so I'm totally fine with that. The only problem is he procs my bomb plating, but you know, you can't keep everything. And in here we are just last hitting, you know, it's not much happening. I Q that just to make it sure. I could ban auto it. Probably it's better if you auto it so you have more threat. I just wanted to Q it to make it sure, but definitely you should auto it so you have more threat in lane. Okay, he's also setting up some wards. Okay. So the only way I should ward is this area usually, because that's the only spot Fiddlesticks can gank me right now. Okay, so here not much going on, of course. I mean, we are CSing. I tried to go for a poke, I missed my E of course, but I still got a decent trade on him. The wave is still on my side, and the good thing is, look, he's level 4, I'm level 5. So that means in general I'm closer to my ultimate, and my sums are coming up, and he does not have his flash, right? So me having my ghost and flash up soon, when my ultimate is also up, it's insane, it's really great. Again, I outspace his EQ, so now I'm allowed to poke him with my Q, just like that. And now he has no Q, so I can pressure him again away from the wave, right? So you shouldn't allow him to last it for free, right? So in there, so now his E is up, so it's not really great to EQ, because you're gonna EQ the wave, you're gonna over push the wave, and then most likely he will just E out of your E, then probably possibly go for a counter attack, so that's what you don't want to, right? So against Aatrox in general, until he has his E up, you don't want to EQ. You need to E, then observe if he gets caught in your E, and then Q. But you shouldn't use both of them at the same time, because he can hit 2 birds with 1 rock. So in here I'm playing a bit passively, because Fiddlesticks could be around. I should then ward this area probably, right? Because that's the only way this is the only way he collapses on me, so I'm playing a bit defensively, right? Now I got 6, so right now I don't have to anymore, right? And now, even if Fiddlesticks shows up, I have ultimate, so I'm not really in a immediate danger, right? Okay. So, in here, just last sitting, you know, chilling, I mean, there's not much to say. Dodging as many Qs as possible, of course. I missed my E sadly, right? But I hit a Q, which is also really great, because nice amount of chip damage, of course. Just chipping his HP down slowly. And in here I'm trying to zone him away from the cannon. I throw in a Q, of course, which hits. And in here I'm going for a heavy trade. So even if this is not the best trade that's possible, right? The idea is to go for a heavy trade before you reset. So he loses some of his HP because the minions poked him, I poked him, and in here I want to get a cheater card. He has a big chunk of wave and he has no Q and W up right now. So most likely he will stick to the wave, he won't try to cancel my B. Otherwise he could be all in by my ultimate, right? So there is no way he cancels your recall. I could then play the short trade out better, so he heals less, of course, definitely, by sidestepping more. So like it's important to go for some type of chip damage before you reset if you don't die or if you don't get caught by fiddlesticks, right? Because that, his HP gonna be missing until you arrive in lane, which gives you a better like 1v1 potential, right? Now our ghost is up, ignite is up, ult is up, right? We kill him. Check his items, of course. He does not have anything useful against me. Really good item advantages out of my freeze, of course. And in here, if he's too deep, this is the point where you just all in, ghost, ignite, right? All that. His flash doesn't even matter if he gets ulted in a deep enough position where he doesn't get to go under tower. Now the only thing you should watch out when Aatrox has his E up or his ult, right? He will perma sidestep or use his mobility. So in here I Q'd him and I watched out that he wants to Q a minion to last hit it, right? And then you can just simply punish it with an E. So look, I think he was using his Q to shove or last hit, I'm not sure. Or to pick up a minion, I'm not sure. Or he tried to poke me, I don't know. I think he tried to predict a Q on me, something like that. I think he tried to shove the wave, something like that. So I catched him in my E basically, right? In here I caught him, I ulted. So when I caught him I ulted because now he can go under tower. When he is this close to me and I ult him, he does not have enough space to get under the enemy tower, right? Oops, the cage is actually a bit smaller, right? Which means that I can run him down. Since I have ghost, I have ignite, right? And with my ignite, watch out what I'm doing, and with my ghost, I'm committing. I ghost and I walk through him. So here's the thing, with ghost, you are allowed to walk through Aatrox because you become ghosted, so you gain movement speed, but you also become ghosted, which means that you can walk through units like Aatrox. So I walked through him, and he couldn't catch me inside of his big, his sweet spot, right? Which means I can keep on chasing, right? And I also walked out of his W so he doesn't pulse me back, really important thing, right? So in general with Ghost you want to walk through Aatrox, right? To dodge his W, to dodge his Q, right? But without Ghost you can't really walk through him, which is, I don't know if it's ever possible, right? And in here I'm running him down. And watch out, I didn't use my Q, because it's better to hold into your Q if he's this mobile and it's unsure where you Q, you know, because your Q self-locks yourself, which means when you Q you can't auto-attack, so if you don't feel like it will hit, just hold into it and you can use it when it's more clear where to Q, right? Now in here he died before I could get my Q off, of course. Sometimes you can also predict with it if you want to rush. In here I could ban freeze. Actually in here I could ban really easily freeze. Definitely you can freeze, the guy has no TP, I could ban like hold the freeze and recall. That would be also really great because I have a big chunk of item advantages. But I decided to play for plates, play for gold. So I can finish my, demonic embrace faster than as if I would freeze, right? But definitely like it would be more consistent for you to freeze instead of like turbo shoving. But now, my point is, I recalled, I decided to recall, right? But then what happens? I suddenly change my mind and I want to steal his camps, right? Now against Twisted Fate is a bit dangerous to do it, but now he does not have his ultimate. Oh, what do I do right now? No, I don't. Oh, not at this point of the game, my bad. Yeah, not at this point of the game. So I was just looking if he ever uses his E and Q forward, so he shoves, right? And in here I did a mistake. I should then wait until he uses his E and then I commit, because if he does not have his E, he can't like dodge my E for sure, right? So that was a mistake on my part, of course. I showed up a bit too early. I should then wait until he is, then I maybe get an all-in on him. Just because he has, when my passive procs, he has less speed than I have. So that in general means it's not too hard to run him down when he uses like every cooldown on the wave, right? So I should then actually be more patient and then maybe I get to maybe run him down, right? That was like a mistake on my part, right? So in here the guy shows up, but It's a bit of a bad scenario for me since I don't have anything up, no flash, no ghost, no ignite, no nothing. And it's a bit awkward, right? So Udyr is coming. I didn't notice the Udyr in time, of course. So Udyr was coming as well. We are rotating downwards. So basically in here what happens, I catching the Aatrox. My passive proc is just bugged. I don't know why it doesn't show. And doubling, of course. Hitting my Q, really great. And Udyr finishes the kill up. And in here I'm keep autoing. I autoed it and I Q'd it, so I maintain my speed and I deal some damage to the crab. So Udyr finishes it faster and I maintain my speed, which means that I can go from A to B faster. The passive zone is just like a bug, visual bug actually. So in here I'm just shoving, simply said, you know, Aatrox is dead, I don't necessarily wanna hold the freeze or anything, I just wanna shove and get my items. So right now I just wanna recall with the whole demonic embrace. So I shoved the wave in, I don't know why did I waffle the way, I should then just shove and recall faster, that's a slight mistake on my part of course. So now I have demonic embrace. Usually demonic embrace is better against like champions that are stacking a lot of HP. I would say it's not the best against Aatrox because he's not stacking any HP from his items, right? He does not gain any HP from his how's it called, from his abilities. So against this guy it might not be actually the best if I think about it, but I feel like Riftmaker is such a bad item in general that like Demonic Embrace feels to be such a good item because often you're gonna poke with your E or Q, and if you check like Demonic Embrace, it gives around the same AP as Riftmaker does because of the passive effect, and also with your Q you can take down bigger objectives like Herald, Drake way faster, right? It's easier to double cam the enemy Blue and Gromp because of the damage, so it deals in general more damage to minions and monsters, right, than Riftmaker would because it doesn't procs against those. And also when you poke with your Q or E and you don't necessarily all in because it takes so much time until Riftmaker turns on, it will always deal more damage. But in general it's better against higher HP champs than lower ones. I'm not sure if it's mathematically better, it deals probably around the same damage, but in short raids Demonic Embrace is always better. Also like you can perma reapply it with your passive, so I'm not sure if Riftmaker out damages it. I don't know the exact math behind it. Now what's the positive side of Riftmaker? That you get some cooldown and Omnivamp, but I don't know if it actually out damages this setup, right? The Demonic Embrace. Don't know actually exactly. Because it feels like Riftmaker does like no damage if you buy it as a first item, right? And the Mythic passive itself doesn't really trigger until you have your Mythic as a first item, right? So it's questionable if you want to go for Riftmaker over this. But I would say against tanks, high HP champs, right? I would definitely recommend you to go for Demonic Embrace. Against champions like Aatrox, it's a bit questionable, I don't know exactly. Riftmaker might just be a bit better, I don't know exactly. The only problem with Riftmaker is that it gives Omnivamp, which kinda sucks on Mordekaiser, because almost everything you have is AoE, so it's just weird. So Proto Belt is another option of course on Mordekaiser. Night Harvester is one thing that I never tried, but it might just be decent. And in here again, I'm walking through him with Ghost, I miss my Q accidentally, and now he dies. So I don't know why did he commit. So here's the thing, the reason why I ulted and all-in him, big item advantage, he has nothing, right? So it's a really easy all-in angle of course, right? So in here he commits for no reason, I eat him, I counter-attack his E, and watch out what I did. I didn't ghost in time to dodge his Q of course, but I ulted him, and when you ult Aatrox, his W disappears, so if Aatrox ever commits and you are 2 levels above him, just ult him and his W won't pull you back. So then you can just kill him. I ghosted a bit late, that's a slight mistake on my part. And Aatrox is constantly moving, right? But the thing about if people are constantly moving, it means they are not auto-attacking you, right? So they are moving to dodge your Q, but you can auto them continuously, burn them with your passive of course, right? So you can actually like push out lots of damage. Meantime they are just wiggling around trying to dodge your Q. So even if you hold into your Q and you auto-attack, that can be more consistent until you get a better like Q angle. Or you can also predict, but when Aatrox is so fast with his ultimate, it's kinda hard to like get an accurate Q off. Okay. So in here, Fiddle 6 is dead of course, Twisted Fate is not a danger towards me, so I'm just simply getting plates. I'm getting plates, I'm pushing towards Nashor Tooth, because even as a second item, Nashor Tooth feels like it has more DPS than Riftmaker, but it makes you less tanky, doesn't heal you, no cooldown. But I preferred it because I was hard dominating Aatrox, which means if I kill him, I can push towers faster, secure smaller camps with Nashor Tooth faster than I would with Riftmaker. So it's better if you are dominant than Riftmaker, from my opinion, as a second item. Then you can get as a third item Riftmaker, so that you get like 2 legendary items for the mythic passive of the Riftmaker, right? Okay. So in here I'm staying, so I bluffed, I recalled, and it would be really normal for me that I recall because I pushed and I have a lots of gold on me and I could reset, but that's just only a possibility, right? And now in here, I'm just looking for an all-in on Aatrox or a good trade, right? And watch out, I place 1 point in my E, no points in ult, because all it gives is 20 less cooldown, which is like whatever, so you don't want that, right? You want an extra point in your E. I just did the Tryndamere thing, of course. And in here I EQ. And now I couldn't auto actually. I could actually. So I tried to chip down his HP with my passive a bit to re-trigger also Demonic, but I didn't reach. I W, of course, really great. And I just killed the wave. I'm shoving the whole thing. So the reason why I'm shoving, right? Because I'm stealing these camps, because I'm so fed right now that Pillar 6 can beat me, Aatrox can't really beat me. So I'm kinda like taking these camps. I probably shouldn't use my E, I shouldn't use my E on the crab, but in here I'm invading with my team because we have a Talon, right? He can jump through us. Udyr is coming, so I should then be a bit more patient, take crab before they arrive, of course, because I could be rotated on, but I was a bit impatient, so definitely you should play it out a bit more patient, because if this is where like Fiddlesticks Twisted Fate sits, then it can be an issue, but I guess they're too behind, right? They're too behind to do enough, right? So in here I'm double camping because of your AoE damage you have on Mordekaiser. Aatrox showed up, so I back off a tiny bit because I think they are here, they might be here. Now Udyr is collapsing, he's taking crab of course, Talon is collapsing, so it's not likely that they're gonna try to contest this, right? So I'm stealing 2 camps right now, right? You should definitely steal camps with Mordekaiser all the time. I leave it to Udyr, maybe I could then take it myself. In here the guy gets low HP, so basically Udyr can steal the wolves right now, and I can pick up the wave and dive him, or pick up the wave and get his tower, right? Both of them are really good wins for me. So he picks up the kill, okay. Alright, so in here we are skipping a tiny bit, I mean not much happens of course.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, so simply said, picking up stuff, right? Now in here I'm rotating down for the enemy wolves because I have ultimate up, and if Fiddlesticks Twisted Fate anybody shows up, I can ult them, kill them of course, so they are not really a threat for me. Now watch out, I'm not using my E. The reason for that is if anybody shows up, like anybody, I can E them and ult them, right? But and now also my passive triggers for speed, which is a really important thing, so I can run them down more easily. I get my passive up faster of course. And in here I'm still not using my E, right? So Aatrox showed up, because your E does not deal too much damage to camp, so it's better if you spare it for picks, right? Instead of using it. Now, in here, I mean, not much happens. In here, I get poked a bit, and I counter-attack it. Oh no, it actually didn't reach me actually. So I just E him when he Qs, right? Then I punish it with another Q. Oh, okay, it misses. I guess he just misses. But you should always like watch out when Aatrox Qs, so it's really easy to punish it with your EQ if he has no E. If he has E, he may dash out, right? Okay. So in here I'm recalling, I have 3k on me basically. I'm getting Nashor Tooth, Riftmaker I wouldn't afford it except if I sell like Ring and then I wait a bit, so we are not doing that, we are getting Nashor Tooth. Definitely good if you are dominating already. Really good synergy with your passive as well of course. Really good like one hit damage, right? So you don't even need to hit your Qs then. In here I'm rotating down, watch out what I do. I'm not going top lane, right? Because the Ezreal is dead and most likely people will rotate bot lane because people are doing some stuff, right? So right now I'm doing Visceral, and anybody shows up I can like ghost, ignite, run them down, so they are not really scary towards me, right? And now watch out what I do, I eat the crab, so I wanna double task the crab and the Scuttle's crab and the fuck Herald at the same time, right? And in here, I leave the Scuttle because it's gonna die to the Demonic Embrace, so you don't have to like finish it, right, with your Aatrox. It would be like waste of time. And now in here I pick up this. Really great, we pick up this. I heal a little bit up, of course. Then again, we are walking to the lane, not much happens in here, simply said. Okay. In here I'm just shoving because I have Herald and people are also fighting on the bottom side, so Aatrox is also there, I don't know why. So they sent Ezreal, and he's kinda behind as well as I see, right? So I can run him down. I tried to like back off, then wait until he comes out and maybe I get an all-in on him, but that's like really unrealistic what I try to do, right? In here I'm dodging his Qs as much as I can, right? And I'm using my W against his poke. I tried to predict an E, but it just didn't work out. He went on the other side, so I guess it's whatever. I tried to sidestep the Q, but he predicts it on me, of course. And now I'm trying to look for E angles, right? EQ angles. So if I EQ him, anything he throws at me, if I EQ him, that's always an outrade, right? So in here I hit my Q, I ult him, right? The reason why I ult him, because he can't really get a good wall angle to E out, actually. So look, in here I ult him because the ult itself, this allows him to get through this wall, which would be his only escape angle, actually, right? So that's I ult him a bit late, right? So he can't actually like E through this, right? Do we know how big the Shadow Realm is? So eventually he gets picked up, right? He couldn't really get out in time because of my Ghost Ignite with aggressive setup. And now I'm pushing the tower, but I'm not hitting it too much because the Herald will execute it anyways. So I'm getting the next wave. But I could then play it out a little bit more safer, since I have the info that he's here and Twisted Fate is here. It's fine what I'm doing, right? I'm proxying the wave, so I get the wave faster before, so the Herald can knock once more. Really great. Awesome. And now in here I'm picking up this cannon as well, of course. And in here I did a mistake. I fought for no reason. So in here I should ban disengage. It was really bad from my part as I tried to force, actually. Because even Fiddlestick showed up. So there was not much I could do. I should then probably leave the area and just get one tower. It was a bit greedy what I tried to do. Now in here I'm building towards Riftmaker. A really good item as a third item. So like one thing I'm not sure if like Riftmaker is better like as a first item over like over Demonic or Nashor's, right? Like against the Scion I would rather like to like rush Demonic over Riftmaker, honestly. I think it depends on the enemy champion's HP. Because like against the Scion you won't really all in a good Scion, you know, they always disengage in phase rush. He can ult your ult, of course, so you don't get your ultimate off if you can react to it, of course. Then again, he can outkite you with his EQ, so you won't really all in a good Scion, right? Which in general means that you will often like Q or E trade, and the burn feels really good then in those short trades. And here I'm hard pushing. Probably I'm split pushing the wrong side of the map, since Baron is the one that's upcoming, not like Drake, so I should be bot side, not top side. I just thought it's a normal game, so actually I kinda turned off my brain. So like I wasn't really like at my 100% these games. I literally thought it's like a normal game. But it kinda looks like a normal game, you know? It kinda looked like a normal game for me, right? But I think maybe the enemy players were tilted, or I don't know. So in here I'm just fishing for picks. The reason why I position like this, right? Because they are doing Baron, right? And one of the paths that lead to the Baron is this one, so this where Aatrox could come or anybody else on the enemy team, right? So I'm just sitting there and looking for picks, right? And apparently if Fiddlestick shows up, right? He will be somewhere in here, and I will rotate for it, right? So I will rotate for it before he ults my whole team, right? Before he can get anything done. Now in here I missed my E, it was kinda bad from my part, of course. And now I ult the Fiddlesticks before I get 3-man. Okay, and in here we run him down, of course, but sadly he flashes. And my teammates thought it's a fake one, or they thought, or he ulted in my ult basically, and my teammates I killed him. So in here I wanted to leave the kill for Jhin, and I almost missed on the kill. I wanted to leave him actually. But in here Jhin picks him up, so it's like fine, right? But probably I shouldn't kill him so he doesn't give up his flash and guild force. So Soraka was pinging that he's coming, but I thought it's Jhin, because I couldn't look at the chat in the fight, right? So I thought Jhin is pinging that he wants the kill. But Soraka ping is on the way, right? So now we have our great items. We are really strong at this point compared to the enemy Aatrox. Oof, he gonna get tower dive, right? He gonna get tower dive or something, right? Okay. This is definitely great. Oh damn, that's a bit of a chip damage, right? Our HP is getting chipped a tiny bit. And in here I'm just pushing, hard pushing with Udyr. Of course I'm really dominant right now, so can afford to push. Also I have Ghost to disengage in the worst case scenario, so I'm not really afraid of anything. Sona shows up, I W, but she didn't actually hit the ability on me, she hits it on a minion. Sidestepping as much as I can, of course. And in here Sona shows up, I trade a Q for her Q. Again, even in there I tried to predict, but I didn't manage to. And in here I get a Q off, she Qs me, but I W it off, so those trades are always good for you. I'm shoving again, keeping the pressure on. Meantime my team also pressures, right? So we wanna kinda like split them up, because when my ult is up I can dive anybody. Before ult, I can't really, right? Like I'm so fed, even now I could run down Ezreal, but the problem is I don't have ult, and his teammates are hovering, so he has also knee up, ghost, he has flash exhaust, so it's kinda hard to dive him, right? So I'm just keeping up the pressure because I'm empowering the minions. Also the cannon. The cannon is pushing really badly with his range shots, right? Really a lot of AD, of course, right? We are sieging, right? We are splitting them up basically. And in here we're just low like ending. There's not much to say. From me at this point it's just basically the Aatrox matchup is over. I hit my thing again. And I tried to ult him, but I think my ult got cancelled, or I don't know what. I tried to ult, but I think even the animation looked like I tried to ult, but I wasn't fast enough and I got chain CC sadly. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't fast enough to ult the guy. And I even ghosted, so that's kinda sad, because I don't have my ghost for my next stalling. So you know, in here not much going on, of course. I mean, and you know, not much going on basically. Very simply ending. Simply ending. Not much to say. Yeah, I mean I think my team is just slowly ending without me. Yep, they're just slowly ending. So that's it about now. That's it about the Mordekaiser versus Aatrox matchup. The enemy Aatrox was like master on 0 LP. If you guys have any type of questions about this matchup, feel free to post a comment in my comment section on YouTube, of course.